ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुवरं श्रीरूपानुगप्रवरं व्रजरासरसिकं च नारायणं तं प्रपन्नं श्रीगुरुं चरणं वन्दे रामनपृष्ठाय भूतले रूपानुगभक्तिदं च कृपमूर्ति नारायणम्। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमो विष्णुपदाय आचार्यसिंहरूपिणे शिष्यमाधभक्ति प्रज्ञानकेशविति नामिने। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धान्त सरस्वतीति नामिने। नमो गौरकिशोराय शक्षैर्वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बरसम्बोधे पदम्बुजायते नमः। वन्दे वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्यनाम्ने गौरतिशे नमः। नित्यानन्द नमस्तुभ्यं प्रेमानन्दप्रदायिने कलोकलमाशनाशाय जनपतये नमः। यता यता गौरपदारविन्दे विन्देत भक्तिं कृतपुण्यराशि तथा तत्सर्पितहृद्यकस्मात् राधापदम्बोज सुधम्बुरसि। जय नवदीपा नवप्रदीपा प्रभावप्रसन्दगजैकसिंहा स्वनाम संख्यजपसूत्रधारी चैतन्यचन्द्र भगवान् मुरारी। देवी काकुबरगद्गर यद्यवाच याचे निपत्य भुविरन्दवारुत्पतार्ति अस्या प्रसादमबुधस्य च नस्य कृत्वा गन्धर्विके निजगणे गणनं विदेहि। श्यामसुन्दरशिखण्डशेखर स्मेरहास मुरलीमनोहर राधिकरसिकमं कृपनिधे स्वप्रियचरणं किङ्करीं कुरु। अहो भाग्यं नन्दागोपाव्रजौकसं यन्मित्रं परमानन्दं पूर्णं ब्रह्मा सनातनम्। Everyone. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare। Jai Shri Guruji Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Swami Prabhupada ki Jai, समस्त रूपानुग गौरी गुरुवर्ग की जय, सपार्षद गौर हरि की जय, गौर नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय, श्राधर मंजू की जय। बोलो जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे श्याम। Hare Krishna. Offering obeisance countless times to my most worshipful Guru Pada Padma Param Aradhitam Asto Tarasata Shri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev, to the entire Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga, to Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, to Gaur Nityananda Prabhu, and to all assembled Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, to all devotees around the world. Hare Krishna. Jai Ho. Hare Krishna. So we are very honored to be with you. We are very fortunate. We are very lucky. We have our family of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Krishna, throughout the world, like pockets of nectar. pockets of sweetness. Little Vrindavan prakosht. Prakosht means a specific area, compartment. So each home where bhakti is present, that is a little manifestation of Braj. Our Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada would establish what he called Brajpatan, meaning little embassies of Vrindavan. So there's a little embassy here, Prabhuji's, Mataji's embassy. Vrindavan embassy. Yes?
No visa required.
No visa required. Prabhuji has embassy, so many devotees, right? We fly across the country not to go to Seattle, but to come to your home here. Yes? To come to Prabhuji's home to see the devotees. No need Microsoft.
Prabhuji's home is the start point.
Yes. This is real, where we can soften our heart for bhakti from the smallest amount, micro. Right? Where is bhakti in the heart? How can we soften that? Right? How to soften our hearts in bhakti? Mahaprabhu gives the process, right? Nam Sankirtanam, by absorbing our body, mind, speech, and Nam Sankirtan, then our heart can get soft. Shravan Kirtan Jale Korya Sinchan, by hearing, by forming Kirtan, hearing, speaking, then we are watering the seed, the Atma, the soul, with Bhakti Ras. Bhakti Ras. Shrindvata Svakata Krishna. Yes? Hear about Krishna. People discuss what is the most important part of being a devotee of Krishna. They think, okay, we do japa. Yes, this is most recognizable, important limb. Swanama Sankhya Japa Sutradhari. Mahaprabhu chanted the names. Whose names? Krishna's name. His own name. Swanama Sankhya on Mala. But first limb of bhakti is Shravanam. Right? There's different ways to understand. 64 limbs of bhakti, first is Guru Parishray. But of the 9 full limb of devotion, Shravanam, hearing. Right? This is softening the heart. So our service here is to hear from our Guru Maharaj, to hear from our Guru Parampara. Specifically, my service to my Guru Pad Padma, to our Brahmacharis. Currently, this is publishing our Gurudev's Transcendental Vani. So this is our first stop. We are trying to please and serve our Guru Maharaj. But he is not asking us, oh, you publish everything I spoke, but this is pleasing to Krishna. It's pleasing to our Guru Varga. Why? Our Guru Maharaj in Vrindavan, he was given this title, Brajacharya. Why? He is that great, glorious personality who brings us closer to Vrindavan, Braj. He traveled the whole world, but everywhere he went, he said, don't stay in Maya. Come to Vrindavan. And establish your home like Vrindavan. Right? This is the teaching of Rupa Swami. Wherever you may be, by heart, by mind, try to be in Vrindavan. That's why as devotees we like to go to Vrindavan at least every few years, one time. Why? That is our aim and object. Braj Yatra. We're all doing Sangsar Yatra. Right? We're all doing parikrama in Sangsar. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita. What parikrama? This life, next life, another life, parikrama. But let's go to Vrindavan. So Gurudev would give a katha, he would say, come with me to Vrindavan. Just on the plane, we were going over this one katha of Gurudev's, and someone asked him, this is 1998, volume 29, where was this Vrindavan Prabhu? My mind's a bit foggy. I was doing 2, 3, then volume 30, 31. So Gurudev was saying, someone asked Gurudev, how to follow the Brijabasis? How to follow the gopis especially? We hear so much about the glories of the Brijabasis. How to follow them practically in daily life? How to follow them? Gurudev gave a very simple answer. He said, bhakti is not so complicated. Yes? Like you have natural love for your child, right? Natural love for your family, your husband, wife. So try to develop that natural love for Krishna. That's Braja Bhakti. It's very easy. Why? Because we have a good example in our life. In practice. Small amount, right? Naturally, you have affection for your family. So what do we say? We have this song of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. 4th verse, Shikshastakam song. Bishaye je priti bhe achaye amara se mata priti hoka chorane tomara. Whatever love I have for this world and for relations in this world, O Lord, may I direct that love towards you. Like Kunti Mata said, may all of my attachments in this world come together in a river and flow towards the ocean of your devotion, Bhakti Ras. So Gurudev said, how to follow the Brajavasis? Right? He said, whatever you're doing. Right? We were talking with Prabhuji. Oh, so busy in life. Yes? But we always have time for a little kirtan and a little smaran and a little bit of shravan. That's why on the drive from the airport, hearing Gurudev Katha. At home, hearing little Katha. Little bit of time for kirtan, shravan and smaran every day. This is bhakti. What kirtan? Gurudev would say, Govinda Dhamo Dharamadhaveti Govinda Dhamo Dharamadhaveti Govinda Dhamo Dharamadhaveti Govinda Dhamo Dharamadhaveti. Very simple process of bhakti. In the Gita, Krishna says many people like to follow impersonal processes. So it's dry, no taste, no sweetness, and very difficult. But bhakti is very simple. Yes? Right? While you're taking care of your baby, you can sing Govinda Dhamo Dharamadhaveti Govinda Dhamo Dharamadhaveti. Very easy. A little bit of kirtan and then you hear, what is Krishna doing? How Krishna is stealing makkan and saying, Mehi nahi makkan akayo. I didn't steal butter. Really, we're saying also today, we're reading that we love Lord Ram, we worship Lord Ram, but we never hear of Ram being bound to a grinding mortar. And we never hear that Sita Devi is sending Ram away out of the Kunj. We never hear that Sita Devi's maidservants can kick Ram, right? But Krishna, Yad Kinkari Shubhahusha Kaluka Kuvani Nityang Parasya Purushasya Shikartamoli Tasya Kadarasanidir Brishabhanu Jayas Tat Keli Kunja Bhavanangana Marjini Sham. What to speak of Srimati Radhika? Srimati Radhika's maidservants can say, get out, Krishna. Not welcome here. So we pray, how to become like a stick in that broom that sweeps the Kunj of Braj. Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. So we are serving our Gurudev's Vani. Gurudev gave such beautiful katha every place he went. Every month we're publishing a new book of our Guru Maharaj's katha. So presently we've done 27 volumes, but now 5 volumes from Hindi to English. When Gurudev went back in 96 to Braj, so we're doing all these volumes from Hindi translated to English. And then we have up to volume 43, we're preparing another 16 volumes we're going to be publishing in the next couple months. We're just doing the final proofread layout. So for us, this is our support in life, our spiritual foundation. Right? We always talk about building temples. People love to build temples, but we're building the temple of Gurudev's Vani. We call this the Vani Mandir. The temple of our Guru Maharaj's divine katha. Why? When Krishna disappeared from the Ras dance, he was not gone, he was hiding. So they sang to Krishna and Krishna reappeared. All together. So our mood is, our Guru Maharaj has disappeared, but this is appearance. Appearance means it looks like it. So we say Guru Maharaj appeared to disappear. In a similar way, we don't say our Swami Prabhupada has disappeared. He is present. How? His Vani, his books, his teachings, his Vapu, his Morti forms, also his devotees, his mission. Swami Prabhupada is present in his mission. In the same way our Guru Maharaj is present in his mission, there's also the same mission as Swami Prabhupada. Why? There's the same mission of our Gaudiya Parampara, of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda. So, Mahabhagavat Guru, pure devotee, is present with their devotees, their temples, their projects, their homes. Right? So we're very lucky. Also, our Guru Maharaj Katha is not only for his direct disciples. Our Guru Maharaj was mostly, for many years, like Shiksha Guru. Why? Our Guru Maharaj did not give initiation till 1990s. The 90s. But for 50 years, 45 years, he was in the Mat training. Since 1952, sannyasi, since 1954, leading Keshaji Gaudiya Mat and training people. Since 1954, so for already 40 plus years, he was Shiksha Guru. And then he traveled around the world, and he was training and helping disciples of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada by his request, help my disciples. So for so many years, he was giving Shiksha. So Gurudev's Vani, his teachings, is Shiksha for worldwide Vaishnavas. And his disciples now are continuing, his Shiksha disciples, Diksha disciples, are continuing to nourish the Vaishnav Samaj, devotee society throughout the world. So for this reason, we are establishing Gurudev's Vani Mandir. Not for one group, but for all Bhakti Yogis and Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Hare Krishnas, this nectar is present. Gurudev came in England, the first place he spoke. He said, I've not come to take, I've come to give. Swami Prabhupada would say the same thing. Right? Gurudev would say, I'm not begging for money. If I need, roof will cave open and money will fall down. I'm not coming for money, I'm coming to give bhakti. Bhaktistu bhagavad bhakta sangena parijhayate. Bhakti comes from good association. It's necessary. Right? Then Gurudev gave katha. Gurudev said seed needs good soil, good water, light, air, sun, everything. So therefore sadhu sangha is necessary. Sadhu sangha is necessary. Bhaktistu bhagavad bhakta sangena parijhayate. Then how do you get satsanga? Prapta pumbi sukriti purva sanchitai. By accumulation of sukriti. So Gurudev, I'll read a few paragraphs from Katha he spoke here in Seattle. 13 July 1996. Right, this is our West Coast volume 9.
So, will you need some light?
No, it's okay. No problem. Okay. So, this is a very interesting topic, very important topic. It's okay. Okay, very nice. We have to call up Microsoft, say what they did to the power. Cut out the power. Where are you?
We're like having Indian feel because when Indian power cuts happen,
yes. So this is a very interesting point Gurudev brings up. He has 2 lectures from Seattle, from 96. Okay? And a few lectures from Vancouver, so we'll be doing Vancouver Katha in Vancouver. So Gurudev, this lecture is called Gravitating to Our Mood, to One's Mood. So Gurudev is talking about the nature of bhakti in our Atma, in the soul. Very important. So Gurudev says, when we control our mind and senses, then our material thoughts, desires, everything will subside. So how to control the mind and senses? It's a big topic. Krishna talks about this in the Gita. But ultimately, Gurudev says, unless our Swarup manifests, we cannot completely control mind and senses. Goswami. Everyone likes to say, oh, Goswami. I am Goswami. Why? By force, I'm controlling my senses. But are you controlling the desire of the senses to enjoy objects of the senses? That's real control. Right? So Gurudev says that control happens when the Swarup manifests. Swarup Siddhi. So this is the ultimate goal for devotees. It's said that sadhana bhakti means kriti sadhya bhavat sadhya bhava sadhanavida. When we are aiming towards bhav bhakti. Gurudev said that's very, very rare. Maybe after hundreds of lifetimes. But it's possible, even one lifetime. But just like if you want to be the top of your field in any profession, you have to work very hard. In the same way in bhakti, you have to make great effort. Tivrena bhakti yogena, great effort. So Gurudev says, so we should try to remove all anarthas. When the anarthas gradually are removed, we come to the stage of ashakti. More than ruchi, especially to the stage of bhav, then our swarup manifests. This is like something covered with glass. We can see what is inside, even though it is covered with glass. So Gurudev is saying there's some indication of your desire. That desire you have in bhakti towards a relation with Krishna, that is something that is hidden there. So in other words, you can have an idea of your bhav even before you have achieved it. Yes? So we should hear from a mahat, from a great personality who has that swabhav or that nature, and then we should practice that mood being in the association of mahat sangha. Bhagavatam says, mahat sangha dvara ahur vimuktis, tamo dvaram joshita sangha sangam. If you want to open the doorway to liberation, you should associate with great personalities. Gurudev said, what is the real liberation? Mukti hitvanyata rupena swarupena vyavastiti. Again, Bhagavatam says, liberation means, what is your swarup? So Gurudev said, Atma, you can think like it is a seed. People say, have we realized Krishna? Have we had relation with Krishna before? He said, if that seed is in a barren place, it will never germinate and sprout and develop. So therefore, sadhu sangha is necessary. But every kind of sadhu sangha can help us develop. Primary stages, Kadashi, Harinam, sadhu sangha, we follow. But how can we realize the highest thing? We have to find favorable association according to our nature. Narottam Das Thakur says, Svajate ashray snigdha sadhu sangha siddhovare. Like-minded association. Like-minded means, what is your desire? And what association can help nurture that desire? Even Rupa Goswami says in a higher level, right? Tat tat katarathas shasur kuryat bhasam brajesita nijan samahitam. Meditate on those associates of Krishna that you aspire to serve under guidance of. Therefore, Gurudev would say, first find your aim and object. So, first it comes like a shadow, and then gradually it develops and comes. So there'll be some like little idea. And this will come by Krishna's arrangement. In the beginning, people think, oh, how do I know? I will be Krishna's cowherd friend. I will be like associate Madhya Yashoda, or I will be servant Radharani. How do we know? Don't get caught up too much in this, right? Otherwise, it'll come. Gurudev said, as you practice bhajan and bhakti, cheto dharpanam arjanam is necessary. Right? First step of bhakti by Mahaprabhu, as he taught, is cheto dharpanam arjanam. So the glass has to be cleaned even to see what is hidden inside the glass. So cheto dharpanam arjanam. However, if we sincerely pray to Krishna, right? Oh Krishna, please send me sadhu sangha who can help me develop my bhav, my real spiritual nature and relation. How can I develop that? Then Krishna arranges. Right? So there are many cheaters and many cheated. But those who want to be cheated for material things, then they'll get material, people who give them those material rewards. Like many people are there who worship, who follow like prosperity gospel, right? You can see this with Christian teachers. Always talking about how to make money, how to make money, how to make money. You want that person, you want that goal, so you follow that process. You get what you want. So if Gurudev describes, if you want Braj Bhakti, and you pray to Krishna for Braja Bhakti, Krishna will arrange association that can help nourish your Braj Bhakti. So therefore we have to find our desire and clarify our desire. Like when we make ghee, how do you make ghee? First you have to milk a cow, right? Or you have to get butter, and you have to process it. So how can we realize our nature? We have to have this process. There's a Gurudev like to tell this story of a king. King asked, minister, where is God? What is he doing? The minister didn't know the answer, but his little son knew the answer. He So this is a very easy question, easy answer. The king said, if you don't answer, minister, I'll kill you. You're useless. But the boy came and he sat before the king. We've heard this katha from Gurudev. Right? First the boy said, O king, you are sitting up there, but you want me to instruct you. So you have to come down and put me on your royal throne. So the king was very shocked. This 6-7-year-old boy was very bold. So the king came down, sat down, and the boy climbed up and sat up there. Then the boy said, okay, now bring 1,000 liters of milk in a big cauldron. The king brought. He said, tell me, where's the ghee? Where's the ghee? There's ghee there or not? Yes, there's ghee. Where? He said, oh, there's a process. So he said, God is everywhere. There's a process to see God, to find God, to reveal God. Where's God? What is he doing? So what is he doing? He said he's doing this. Before you're sitting up there, now you're sitting down. I'm sitting up here. So this is called karma. Right? But the point here is, in the milk there's something. So in our nature there's something. So Gurudev would also say, someone who's coming in the Gaudiya Parampara, naturally, if they're following this line, they'll develop some Braj Bhav, some mood of aspiring to serve like in Braj. Gurudev said it, today I was also reading, Gurudev said, if you're just worshipping in Aishwarya mood also, then ultimately you can't enter Braj. Aishwarya mood means mood of opulence. He said you may be doing Thakurji puja, but only with a mood of opulence. He said you should do the same puja, but with a mood of natural love and devotion. This is specifically the desire and gift of Mahaprabhu. Aishwarya Shithil Prem Nahi Mora Prita. Aishwarya Moi Bhakti is not melting Krishna's heart. Right? If we want softness in our heart, we should also think, how can we soften Krishna's heart towards us? So when Mahaprabhu traveled and preached, we can see in South India, he was preaching to Prabodhananda Saraswati Pad, Gopala Bhatta Goswami IV, young boy, Venkat Bhatta, and so forth. They had more Aishwarya mood of bhakti. They were worshipping Lakshmi Narayan. But yet their mood changed. This is what we're talking about now, right? How is it that they became inclined towards Braj Bhakti? So sometimes in devotee association, right, it said, Narottam Das Thakur says that, like if you have a crystal and the room light is purple, the crystal becomes purple. Blue then blue, green then green. So according to association, your mood can adopt that. Like they say, you become like your association. Right? You may have a very good son or daughter, but then if they're always with the wrong people, all of a sudden they're doing all these different bad habits. But when the right situation comes, that isn't their fixed nature. Right? So our mood can evolve and develop. Right? But what is our real fixed mood? Gurudev also says that is fixed. We've heard this in these books transcribing. Gurudev says it maybe 10,000 times. Approximately. Right? After we finish all the katha, all the volumes sequentially, then we're going to start making specific topic books. Churning the milk ocean. Right? So this is the first our service. Presenting all Gurudev's katha, and then each topic that Gurudev again and again stressed. What's the biggest one going to be? Don't criticize Vaishnavas. Right? Each topic Gurudev stressed the most will make one volume. What's it about? Don't criticize Vaishnavas. And you flip through it and everywhere it says the same thing. This place, that place, this place, that place, that time, this time, that time, this time. Right? So sadhus, each of these principles, Sharanagati, Sadhu Sangha. So one of the principles Gurudev talks about again and again and again and again and again and again and again is our nature ultimately is fixed. It's called Sthayi Bhav. So Gurudev talks about that in this lecture. But how can we awaken our bhav? So, when Mahaprabhu was preaching in Navadvip, right, Mahaprabhu began to reveal his mood, especially of Braj Bhakti. Before, it was somewhat, Mahaprabhu is playing scholarly pastimes, and his boyhood pastimes were mischievous. But when Mahaprabhu began preaching, he was very absorbed in the mood of Srimati Radhika towards Krishna. This is the basis of our Krishna consciousness movement, right? Krishna consciousness comes, Prabhupada wrote, this comes from Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavitamati, Who has that one pointed absorption? Ultimately, Srimati Radhika, and then Brajagopis, and then all of Brajabasis. So Mahaprabhu had that mood specifically prominent. But some of his associates were Ram Bhakta, Murari Gupta is Hanuman, and Mahaprabhu is preaching about Radha Krishna, and Murari Gupta was thinking, I love Mahaprabhu on one side, I cannot give up my love for Mahaprabhu. But on one hand, I cannot give up my love for Ram. Now there's a contradiction. Fight. What to do? Murari Gupta thought, I'll give up my life. I cannot solve this. So he put a knife under his pillow one night. He thought, tomorrow morning, that's it. That's it. Mahaprabhu arrived very early. 4:30, 5 in the morning. Knock, knock. Oh, you are here. Why have you come so early, Prabhu? Oh, I have one favor to ask you, one benediction. What is that benediction? You hid something under your pillow, give that to me. Why? This is not your body. This is Krishna's body. You are not proprietor. Don't harm yourself. He said, I am your Ram. And Mahaprabhu revealed himself as Ram. He said, oh. And then Murari Gupta was so happy. And he said, oh, please climb on my shoulders, Lord, and let's dance. And he carried him like Hanuman would carry Ram. So there's no contradiction here. Right? Jai Gaur, say Krishna, say Jagannath. That Ram is Krishna. Mahaprabhu, that is also Ram, that is Krishna. So there's no contradiction here. But Gurudev then said that ultimately if you're inclined, especially towards this Gaudiya Parampara, then generally speaking, you'll have this Braj Bhav, mood to serve Radha Krishna in Vrindavan. That's why if we look in our temples established by Bhakta Swami Prabhupada, generally we see Radha Madhav, Radha Shamsundar, Vrindavan Chandra, Krishna Balaramji is there, Gaurnitai is there, but also Lord Nityananda, what do we pray to him? Acharya Singh, Heno Nitai Vinay Bhai, Radha Krishna Paitenai. Without the mercy of Lord Nityananda, we can't get the association of Radha Krishna. Right? So the aim and object is Radha Krishna. Radha Krishna Prana Mor Jugala Kishore Jivanai Marane Ar Gati Nahi Mor. Who has this mood? Jivanai Marane Ar Gati Nahi Mor. Sakas don't have that mood. Oh, Radharani, without you, I'll give up my life. It's not Sakya Bhav. Right? This is not that mood. So Gurudev said mostly this is the aim and object. And he said if you're coming in this line, mostly you'll develop that mood. Why? This is the focus. So Gurudev says like that. But how can your mood be fixed? That's one example, Murari Gupta. So Mahaprabhu ultimately, our Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that anyone who has any appreciation for Mahaprabhu, they're in our family. We should have that mood. Anyone who has any appreciation for Mahaprabhu, whether they think of him as devotee, or as Bhagavan, or as just some great personality, they're our family. Right? So we should have that mood. They're all our family. But still, within that, how can we develop our ultimate mood and desire? Right? We look at Rupa and Sanatan, their brother Anupam. He was also Ram Bhakta. He gave up his life because he could not change his mood. Right? And Sanatana Goswami in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, he shows the example of Gop Kumar. And there's also verses in Brihad Bhagavatamrita that talk specifically. Brihad Bhagavatamrita is the first book by the six Goswamis, most prominent Sanatana Goswami. He was the leader. And he wrote there in Brihad Bhagavatamrita that the Jiva's Swarup, this is fixed. This is by Sanatana Goswami. So our Gurudev mentions that many times here in this lecture. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written that even if the Jiva is conditioned, their swabhav or nature is not destroyed. That's why Gurudev would say it's like a seed. Right? Seed doesn't one day go from mango to apple or peach. Seed is seed. Whatever its nature is there. When we do sadhana, then our nature, whatever that nature is, that will manifest. If it's Vatsalya Ras, like Madhya Yashoda, that will manifest. Right? So Gurudev says, we can achieve this bhav because even though we may not know it, especially those who have this potency will come to Mahaprabhu. That's what we're saying. Those who have this desire, especially for serving Srimati Radhika, they'll naturally come. Krishna arranges this. We shouldn't think everything is up to us. It's not all our responsibility, right? If we pray to God, He is very powerful. We pray to Krishna, He will arrange for us. We simply have to have sincere desire, O Krishna, right? Hey Krishna, Karuna, Sindhu, Dina, Bandhu, Jagatpade, Gopesha, Gopika, Kanta, Radha, Kanta. O Krishna, please help me. That's enough. Ek bar dekle chakke jal, Gaur bole nitai den shakulation ball. If we just have that sincere prayer, we should not have that abhiman that I can do everything my own. We pray to Krishna. Krishna, you help me. You arrange sadhu sangha. You arrange. This is your responsibility. Right? One time, we just have to sincerely pray. Krishna tomar hoy jadi bhole ek bar maya bandha hoite Krishna tare kore par. People say, how do I practice bhakti? It's so difficult. Sangsar and maya and karma and this and that and work. How do I follow bhakti? Not difficult at all. Bhakti is not difficult. Okay, Prabhu, here's the recipe. Krishna tomar hoy. Krishna, I am yours. Okay? Jadi bole ek bar. One time. Let's do it together. Krishna.
Krishna.
I am yours.
I am yours.
Okay, finished. Krishna tomar hoy. Jadi bole ek bar. This is Mahaprabhu. One time you say, Krishna, I am yours. Ek bar. Maya bandha hoite. Tare kore par. Krishna will cut the bondage of Maya and bring us to his lotus feet. And we say, oh, it didn't happen yet. Didn't happen yet? Are yaar, time to do. Anadi Kal, since countless time in lives, here we are. But we say, Krishna, I don't want any process of anything. I want it today, just now. Right? Like a kid may say, Papa, mujhko crorepati bana do. Ho jayega. I want to be billionaire. When? Very quick. Quick. I want to be millionaire. We have a story in India. Pangu Pandit, false Pandit. Boy came to a king and said, I want to become a Pandit. Make me a Pandit. He said, okay, good. I'll send you to this teacher. This Pandit can make you Pandit. So he went to the Pandit. How long will it take? Oh, like at least 15 years. Hey, yaar, who has the time to waste? I don't want to wait 15 years. Make me Pandit 2-3 days. In 2-3 days, make me a Pandit. So the king said, it's not possible. How can be a Pandit in 2-3 days? So then one Pandit came and told the king, no problem. The boy kept complaining. He was a Brahmin boy, right? He should become Pandit, but he didn't want to do the work. So one Pandit said, no problem, I'll make him a Pandit very quick. So he said, okay. He dressed the boy up like a Pandit, shaved his head, kept a big sika, big kantimala, nice outfits, lal kapra, saffron cloth. And he went throughout, he said, you're going to go on procession throughout all the villages of the kingdom and the towns. And behind you there's going to be like 3 or 4 hecklers. And everywhere you go, they're going to say, hey Panditji, oh Panditji, because he's dressed like a Pandit. Everywhere you go, everyone's going to call you, hey Panditji. So the boy went everywhere and everyone called to him like this, hey Panditji, oh Panditji. And after the end of the day, they came back after a few days. And the boy was very happy. Why? Everyone in the kingdom knew him now as Pandit. Right? Everyone in the kingdom knew, oh, this is Pandit. So the king said, very good. You see, it's Pandit. But if you ask him, Pehle slok kya Gita ka? Nahi janta. What is first slok of Gita? Does he know? Dharma what? Doesn't know. Dharma kshetra, kurukshetra. I remember when I was a little boy, Dviji Krishna Prabhu, Shubhananda Prabhu, became Tirtha Maharaj, Ban Maharaj, Sukananda Prabhu. Hey, what is Upadeshamrita? What is Manasiksha? What is Shikshastakam? 9, 10 years old. You have to learn. Otherwise, how can you represent Guru Maharaj? How can you say, oh, I am disciple of Guru Maharaj? So we don't want to become one day Pandit. Right? There's one other story. Little baby girl, 5, 6 years old. She said, Mom, she would have her dolls. Oh, when will I have my baby? Now this doll is not enough. It's plastic. Or it's wood. I want a real baby, live baby. Mom, when am I going to have a baby? When am I going to have a baby? She said, just wait. Patience. She said, Mother, if I have a baby while I'm sleeping, wake me up. Mom said, don't worry, when you're having a baby, you won't be asleep. I guarantee it. You'll wake up. So Krishna tomar hoy jadi bhole ek bar. This is starting the process. Krishna takes care of the rest. All of your life will be arranged in such a way to help you progress in bhakti. But it has to come from the heart. Why Rupa Swami also says, many people are there, oh Krishna, Nitai, ha Gaur, Radhe Radhe, Haribo. It's not enough. This is not for show. You yourself have to cry and weep one time, oh Krishna, I am yours. Please, Krishna, I am giving my life to you. Please, you make the arrangement. I don't know how to become Pandit, but I am going to your school. They would say, what is that school? Haridas Thakur school, Gorkhadas Babaji Maharaj school. Right? We go to the school of Gorkhadas Babaji Maharaj. What did Gorkhadas Babaji Maharaj teach? Kotai go prema mai radhe radhe, kotai go prema mai radhe radhe, oh radhe 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 dekha diye pran rakho radhe radhe, তোমার কঙ্গল তোমায় ঢাকে রাধে রাধে, কোথায় গো প্রেমাময়ী রাধে রাধে, কোথায় গো প্রেমাময়ী রাধে রাধে। ठीक है कीर्तन करना last, we'll do this kirtan there.
No, but I'm keeping it near.
Okay.
Maybe
This is the school of Gorkhadas Babaji Maharaj, right? He didn't know how to write kha kha gha ga na. He said, I don't have time for this. Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada said, I need pure guru. Someone who is not deviated from Krishna consciousness for one moment. People say guru means Jai Krishna Tattva Veta Hoy, say Guru Hoy. Those who know all Krishna Tattva, all Sastra, they can quote everything. But Babaji Maharaj can't write ka kha gha ga na. Thank you. Right? We chanted Radharani's name.
Yes.
Right? Surya Bhagavan became happy. Bijli diya. See? Very good. Chalo. Right? So Babaji Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, he came to Babaji Maharaj for initiation. Babaji Maharaj said, oh, you're too qualified. Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada writes this in his glorification of his Guru Maharaj. Too qualified. Jada vida jata mayara bhai bhav. This material knowledge will not help you get Krishna. So what is the school of Gorkhadas Babaji Maharaj? How can we come and learn to pray? Right? Learn to pray. One hand, all knowledge is necessary. Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada and Bhakti Swami Prabhupada said, you must learn everything. Bhakti Sastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta, study all Sastra, learn everything. Our Gurudev would say, learn all tattva, das mula tattva, all slokas, Shrinachartamrita Jaivatam, learn everything, Bhagavad, everything. But then, what do you ultimately need to learn, right? In Vrindavan, learn how to make cow dung patties. This is our education. Our temple in Radhikunj, I want to come and study. What do you learn? How to make cow dung patties. How to make the ball, how to put it on the wall. How to make another ball, how to put it on the wall. This is our university program. Right? Why? We don't want to become very proud and far away from Krishna. After learning everything, we should learn. There's a verse. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings. Hoileo sarva gune, guni mahashoy, pratishtasa chari koro amani hridoy. After you have all good qualities, learning everything, then you should give everything up, become humble. Give up name and fame. Give up desire for that. Dhanya dhoya niman pratishta varjan chari guni guni hao koro ho kirtan. So Gorkhadas Babaji Maharaj knew everything. Everything, A to Z. But his absorption was only, bas, what is my goal? What is my aim and object? He didn't waste any time. So our Gurudev spoke like that and taught like that. So we are praying to our Gurudev. How can we develop this mood of bhakti? We'll read a couple more paragraphs. Even if we don't know our mood, our bhav, when we come to Mahaprabhu, it means there must be some reason. Krishna is arranging that. What's the point we're making? We don't know how we got or why we got here, but we say, Krishna tumar hoy jadi bole ek bar. Krishna, I'm trying to develop bhakti for you. Then let the rest be arranged by Krishna. Right? Gurudev is saying, anyhow, we're here. So there must be something in that. He said, otherwise, you can go to other places. Mayavad Sampradaya, Nimbark Sampradaya, this or that. It is our hope that when Krishna has made the arrangements to bring us here, then we have that potency. This is the reason. This is a very subtle topic. So this is what Gurudev's kata. 2 classes he gave in Seattle. So, right, I don't have to worry about this topic, that topic. Whatever Gurudev said here, right? Let's read the same thing. Look at a falling stone. If you throw a stone up, Gurudev said this many times, what happens? It doesn't just keep going up. You'd have to throw it very hard. Right? And it has to go to another planet. You throw a stone up, it comes back down. Right? So, what does this mean? Gurudev gives another example. If the stone gets stuck in a tree, it doesn't come back to the earth. If the tree is cut, then the stone comes back to the earth. So he says we may get stuck in a sampradaya that we're not meant to be in. It says like that. We may be stuck in another line. This is not criticizing any other line, like he said the Ramanuja line. This is bona fide Vaishnava sampradaya. Shri Brahma Madhva Rudra Shanaka Shiti Pavana. Bona fide sampradaya. But maybe this is not according to our nature, our swabhav. Right? So if one is stuck on the branch of Madhva, Ramanuja, and Nimbardaka, in the end, if that tree is cut down, he will try to go to his original nature. Understand this. In some way, one jiva will have manjari bhav in his swarup, but for some reason he has gone to another philosophy. Right? We are Brahma Madhva Gaudiya line. Right? We come in the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya line. And Mahaprabhu appreciated especially Madhvacharya because he worshipped Braj Krishna, but more not specifically in that mood of Manjari Bhav. Why? Before Mahaprabhu came, that wasn't available. Specifically that mood, Radha Pranaya Mahima Kidrisa, that wasn't available openly. There was some understanding, oh Krishna. Bhakti was there, but Rupa Goswami gave Bhakti Ras and Braj Bhav. Before that, it was just open, vague. Oh, worship Krishna, right? We don't hear so much anything specific, but Mahaprabhu gave this specifically. So Gurudev is saying, look at Bala Bijubhushanji. He was in that line, Madhva philosophy, Dvaita Dvaitavad, but afterwards he came to the Braj mood. So the jiva will go somewhere and perform sadhana, and after doing sadhana, he will not be satisfied, like Gop Kumar. Right? We hear the story. Gop Kumar was in one place and he was worshipping as a king in this world, Vishnu, but it wasn't completely fulfilling his heart's desire. Then Indra Loka, he worshipped, right? Bamandev, but it wasn't enough. And he went up and up and up and up and up, even Ayodhya Dham, but he wasn't satisfied. Why? As Gurudev said, he couldn't have that intimacy with Lord Ram. Couldn't embrace Lord Ram and have that close, intimate friendship. There would always be a mood of, oh, you are God. But Chaitanya Charitamrita Mahaprabhu said that's not enough. It's a very interesting thing. We're listening in your house, Gurudev Kata. That, Gurudev was just saying, right? In your house before we came here. Padab jayostaviganavana dasyaneva nanyat kadapi samayekila devyache sakyayate monamosta namosta nityam dasyayate monaso sudasosta satyam. Gurudev said, oh Radharani, I'm not asking for your saki pad. I don't want to be equal to you, like your peer. Even though the sakis are subordinate, they're like friends. He said, only your service, again and again I pray for that. But even so, that's such a high thing. How high? Beyond comprehension, that high. We can just think about it. Arundhati Nai, logic of the star. It's very dim to see, but you can point it out by some specific, guidance. So Gurudev is mentioning all these points we just said. I haven't read this lecture since maybe 5-6 years, but all these points Gurudev is making. Anupam Prabhu, Murari Gupta, all these points. And now Gurudev is going to board the plane. So Gurudev is, this must be a darshan at the airport. Just before the boarding, Gurudev and the devotees have a short talk. So we'll get to that point really quick. All right. So now a devotee asks, what if one aspires to be the maidservant of Srimati Radhika, even if he doesn't have that mood? What to do then? What to do? So Gurudev says, for one who possesses another mood, the blossoming of this mood will not occur. Then that devotee will go to another line. So there's not a problem. Every Atma is perfect. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Upanishad, Ishopanishad says, Krishna is complete, God is complete, then everything that comes from Krishna is complete. Every Atma is complete. Every soul in our nature is complete. We don't have to worry it's not complete. and we'll always be completely blissful in our relationship with Bhagavan. However that may be, with Ram, with Nrsimha, with Krishna, anyhow. We'll feel complete satisfaction. Why? Sandrananda Visheshatma. The nature of the jiva, as we realize our relationship with Krishna, is complete bliss. Right? Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadna.
But can I ask in this?
Bolo, bolo.
So when this, and then some people say in this here only, that when Gopkumar, like this Naradji and Gopkumar, there are two kathas.
Yes.
And then they went to Dhruv Maharaj, but then he was repenting that I couldn't serve the Radha Maharaj. So how then we can say that they were completely satisfied?
This is not necessarily describing the mukta avastha, right? It's mukta in one sense, but the point is that what is a liberated form, right? Dhruva Maharaj was where? He was still in Dhruva Loka. Right? So, mukti hitvanyata swarupena vyavastiti. What is the swarup of Dhruva Maharaj? Is that his swarup? That's not necessarily his swarup. I don't know. It's an interesting point. The point is, if someone is Ram Bhakta with Ram, they are satisfied.
Yeah, no,
Right?
I understand, but
some people may say like that, but once you actually have Swarup Siddhi, that's another thing. Right? This katha is from Sadhan katha, not Siddha Avastha. Okay, anyhow. So now, Gurudev and the devotees have a talk just before getting on the plane. Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivasacharya and Shamananda Prabhu were under the guidance of their Shiksha Guru Jiva Goswami Pad, living in Braj. So then Gurudev tells the story of finding the ankle bell. And Shamananda Prabhu brought that and gave to Srimati Radhika. So Gurudev tells that story. So Gurudev tells that whole story. It's a very beautiful katha.
We just had Shamananda Prabhu parents day just day before yesterday or something.
Yeah.
Basanti Ras and Shamananda Prabhu parents day. It was the same day. Yesterday actually.
No.
It's the day before.
So one thing Gurudev would always do is Gurudev would always, every lecture, every tour, Gurudev would glorify Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So just a few minutes, we'll glorify Swami Prabhupada. Gurudev had such a close relation and friendship with him. Right? Always, throughout the whole preaching tour, and throughout all the different years, Gurudev would glorify Swami Prabhupada. The other day we were having this discussion that Mahaprabhu had this desire and this prophecy, Prithiviti Ache Jata Nagaradi Gram Sarvatra Prachar Hoive Moranam. That this preaching mission will spread all over the world. What? Nam. Right? What is the power of the Nam? How important is Nam? Everything is coming from that, right? Everything comes from Nam. Nam Nama Kari Bahuta. Everything is coming, all the potency is in the Nam. So Prabhupada established this Nam Prachar all over the whole world, Nam Sankirtan. And not only that, but if you look at Swami Prabhupada, Rupa Goswami mentioned 5 most important limbs of bhakti. Swami Prabhupada established that all over the whole world. What? Sadhu Sangha, Nam Kirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, Mathurava, Shraddha, Shrimurtir Sevan. Never in history we've seen any acharya establishing so many beautiful temples where worship of Thakurji is done so beautifully, so much devotion, also so much pristine purity, right? With so much softness and sweetness also, right? We see many places where maybe it's very clean and very nice, but also with so much sweetness and beauty. How the Sringara is done, how the malas are made every day, and how punctual, right? I know, 7:30, Govinda Madi Purusham, right? Pujaris are like that. And how? I don't know, like in Krishna Balaram and Vrindavan, there's Gaunitai, Radha Krishna, Lita Vishaka, Krishna Balaram, and everyone is like, 1 hour, they dress everyone. I know, because I know the pujaris there. Within 1 hour, 5-10 pujaris. So how beautifully Prabhupada established this bhakti, and also the arrangement that all the jivas could come in, get an opportunity to develop this mood of Braja Bhakti. And our Guru Maharaj, he served Swami Prabhupada according to his desire. He said, please help my disciples, help guide them. But how does Gurudev help disciples of another guru. It's an important topic also. Often we talk about the duty of how to honor the guest, right? Atiti Deva Bhava. Any guest is like a devata, God. What to speak of a sadhu? General guest, you're supposed to worship like God. So sadhu, you have so much more honor. But what is the duty of the sadhu also? We should think about that. What is the responsibility of the sadhu? If they're a Shiksha Guru, they establish Guru Nishta, encourage Guru Nishta, increase Guru Nishta. That is especially the role of Shiksha Guru. So we see when our Srila Gurudev traveled and preached, Gurudev would say like this sometimes, because many Srila Prabhupada disciples would spend time with him and come and hear from him. And they all would say how much Gurudev deepened their devotion to Prabhupada and their conception of Prabhupada and their relation with Prabhupada, their understanding of Prabhupada, their appreciation for Prabhupada. We see that across the board. And so many of Prabhupada's sincere, very serious disciples joined and served Srila Gurudev, and he encouraged them to serve Srila Prabhupada. So we have this verse also. Mahaprabhu made another prediction, right? More than a prediction, it was his desire, right? Raga Marga Bhakti Loke Korite Prachar. So we see in a few places Mahaprabhu talks specifically about prachar, preaching, right? He would say, in general, Bahiranga Sangha, Nam Sankirtan. Antaranga, right? Ishta Goshti, about Braj Katha. That's what Mahaprabhu would teach. But here he said, Raga Marga Bhakti Loke Korite Prachar. He didn't say Braja Bhakti in Navadvip or in Puri or in Vrindavan. He said, Raga Marga Bhakti Loke Korite Prachar. So our Gurudev especially fulfilled that desire of Mahaprabhu. Prem Ras Niryas Kurite Swadan Raga Marga Bhakti Loke Korite Prachar. If we look at our Gurudev's life, this is his life. He specifically went and helped everyone develop this Rag Braja Anurag. That's why we say Braja Ras Rasikang Cha. Gurudev was Braja Ras Rasik. He encouraged everyone towards Braja Bhakti. Why? This is the desire of Mahaprabhu. One time, Pujapad Shrimad Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, he was speaking about Srila Gurudev, and he said, and another Acharya, also Bhakti Bala Tirtha Goswami Maharaj, also so many of Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada's very senior, prominent disciples, they said, Radharani gave our Gurudev specific instruction to distribute this Braj Katha and Braj Anurag. All these great disciples of Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada directly would say like this, that we all, whatever he's speaking about, we are meditating on. But Radharani gave him instruction to distribute this. But also people gave Gurudev this, people would say, he's always speaking Hai Katha. It's not true. Why? Every lecture he spoke in his Western tours and also in India we're transcribing, and it's all very strong, fundamental, sadhana bhakti, Madhuri Kadambini, how to progress, the different stages of bhakti, and what is your goal? Only because he said what is the goal, or talked about the goal even in a little bit, when people criticize. Don't talk about the goal. But really, Gurudev spoke all the fundamentals of bhakti, all the stages of bhakti, again and again and again, helped us develop in that. But really, Gurudev helped us throughout all of that develop Braj Anurag. That's why we see all Gurudev disciples around the world, wherever Gurudev would preach, we see this, they have this Braj Anurag, naturally. Right? I know from New Braj and from other places, all Gurudevs, especially his own children, right? Young disciples who were with him in his time. Had so much love for Braj. So much. And Gurudev, anywhere he would go, they would do Braj Leela, dramas, and Kirtan. And so, really Gurudev helped fulfill this desire, right, of our Guru Varga. Raga, Maharga, Bhakti, Loke, in the whole world. Not just Bharat, not just India, just like Mahaprabhu said, Prithiviti Ache, all throughout the world. Really, this world is very small, right? The whole Brahmanda is there, right? And this prachar, right? We say, Brahmanda tarite shakti dhare jane jane. The whole world, the whole universe, Jagat, our Guru Varga is powerful enough to save. That's why we say they're always traveling and preaching. This world now, they've appeared to disappear. Now they're appearing somewhere else and preaching. But these two acharyas are Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. These are our Bhagavad acharyas. In our line, Gaudiya Sampradaya, are Srila Gurudev, Bhaktivinoda Narayan Goswami Maharaj, then Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Together, these are very powerful prominent acharyas in our line, not just for, right, this is very important to understand. This is not like Gaudiya Math or ISKCON. This is for all Hare Krishna Bhakti Yogis. We all need to understand the glory, the importance of our Srila Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada. Anyone who's preaching in the West, maybe not from ISKCON, still, if we don't honor Swami Prabhupada, someone made the example, like I was discussing this the other day in New York City. Devotee, from Gaudiya Math devotee, but we're glorifying Prabhupada together. Why? Like you went into a jungle, right? Someone cleared the pathway, someone made all the facility, now you can just walk on the road. Right? Now you can just go on the road and reach everything. Who created this platform? Who made the foundation? Also, who established all these communities, all these temples? It's Swami Prabhupada. So if you don't honor that Prabhupada and you go and reap the results, it's called akritagya, ingratitude. You're not grateful. You have to honor. Right? In our mission, our Swami Prabhupada is our Acharya, just like our Srila Gurudev. Our Gurudev, Swami Prabhupada, and also our Srila Gurudev. Especially nowadays, a lot of people are speaking about this Braj Katha, but they're all speaking from Gurudev Katha. Whether they say it or not, they're reading his books, repeating from his books, Venu Geet and so forth, and Gopi Geet, Venu Geet. But where did they get this idea? From Gurudev, who established from the Goswamis. So we should not jump over. So really any Vaishnav preacher, our responsibility is to honor our acharyas, especially if we're preaching to their disciples. Right? As Gurudev did with Swami Prabhupada. So if any preacher is coming, right, we should honor the Guru Maharaj. Right? And in this way we can very easily progress in bhakti. Where they said Guru Nishtha is the backbone of bhakti. So first, Pratamam tu Gurum Pujyam. So especially for our Guru Maharaj, Sangha and Parivar, we are establishing his Vani Mandir, so that for hundreds and hundreds of years this conception will be fixed. Right? There's no question. Right? Why? Gurudev said it 1,000 times. Right? We'll have so many, each of these topics will be its own book. Each primary topic of Gurudev, Pure Bhakti. What is Pure Bhakti? What is Uttama Bhakti? Each of these topics will be its own book. So any follower of Srila Gurudev, there's no question. This is like our law book. Like if you're in a court and you say, what is your precedent? What is your praman? This book over here. Jeev Tattva. Srupata Jeev. Here's Gurudev Katha. You want to hear about this topic? Here, take this book. Here in 500 places Gurudev said it. 500 times. So we're praying to our Gurudev. We're here to serve. This is for everyone. But we are here especially to serve our Guru Maharaj and Srila Swami Prabhupada and our Guru Parampara and all Guru Vaishnavas, all devotees. Ho Premanande Hari Hari Vo Vancha Kalpa Tirubhya Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanang Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Okay?
Do you have any questions? We have...
yes, please, questions.
But I want to give others opportunity because I have
yes.
few. But I want to
yes. Questions are good. Let's hear.
So first question mentioned that this is a hypothetical question, so you can answer it that way. I was thinking, when we hear about Radharani, Srimati Radharani, and our goal is Radhadasyam to serve Radharani. But Krishna also enjoys other rasas like Saka, like he wants to play with his friends. He wants to have play games with them. You also have Yashoda Maya. So I was thinking, what you just mentioned, like we all have a seed. That seed could be, maybe a Saka, maybe who knows, maybe even Dasya, like Hanumanji.
Yes.
So is that lower than since you have that seed, which means you could never, let's say you have the seed of Saka, which means you could never graduate or you never get into the Madhurya. So is that a shortcoming? Why is that?
So we have to understand one thing. One thing is that all rasas, all jivas are there to please Krishna. That's the reality of this existence. Right? Ek Ishwar Krishna arsa britya. Jaina mane sar. Right? Jaimane Jaina mane sabitara das. What is equal for all is that we are all eternal servants of Krishna. Swarupoy Nitya Krishna Das. And what is our purpose? To please Krishna. This is bhakti. Bhakti or prem means, right, Atmendriya Priti Vancha Tare Bole Kam. to please ourselves, only to want to increase our own happiness, that is material desire, lust. And to try to please Krishna, that is bhakti. And that gives ourselves so much bliss. So we think, what was best for me and what is the best rasa? What is higher, what is lower? But according to our nature, right? Krishna likes apple, Krishna likes plum, Krishna likes mango, Krishna likes cherry. Each is perfect in itself because each is pleasing Krishna. So each rasa is pleasing Krishna. Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, Dasya, Shanta, and so forth. Each is pleasing Krishna, so therefore it's perfect.
So
right?
there is no
So I'm thinking, think of it, Bhakti Rakshak Shri Raga Swami Maharaj would speak about it like this. Think of Krishna as the subject and we're the object. Right? Like for example, when we think about, I'm going for darshan. No, we're going, giving darshan. Krishna is having our darshan. So in the same way, all rasas are manifesting from Risheshwari Srimati Radhika. Right? Krishna is Bhokta, ultimate enjoyer, and he has desire and will, and Srimati Radhika is manifesting all ways to fulfill Krishna's happiness, to give Krishna's happiness. So that's the reality of Jiva Tattva and all. Everything. All existence is meant to please, right, Krishna. So that means that whatever our Swarup is perfect because it's all these rasas are there. 5 main rasas, 7 secondary rasas. It's all pleasing to Krishna. So it's perfect. It's not a question of graduation. Some personalities are there that serve in different rasas. Narad Muni is Narad Gopi, also Madhumangal and one Angsa. So there's also this potentiality, right? Gaur Lila Swarup, Krishna Lila Swarup. The soul is not so easily, confined. It has so much potency and potential. But really we should think everything is perfect in its own position. So that's why a lot of people have this question, We shouldn't think of it as, if I don't get this, it's like I'm missing out. Right? That's why I was saying, we'll be fully blissful. But really, if we're thinking about what pleases ourselves versus thinking about what pleases Krishna, then we understand that ultimately our nature is to try to have a relationship with Krishna, according to our nature, and we'll be completely fulfilled in that. It's according to our taste also. Like we should understand also, Jiva is part and parcel of Bhagavan. Achinta Bed Abed. And our nature is what? Amritasya Putra, to taste bliss, Sachidananda, to be blissful. So why, if we are part and parcel of Krishna, the absolute truth, why would he design it that we would not be satisfied or happy in our fulfillment of perfection after mukti? So after mukti, after liberation, when you realize your swarup, you'll feel like you have something less and someone else has something more. Why would Krishna design it like that? Our nature is that we're part and parcel of absolute. We are meant to taste bliss. Bhakti Rakshak Shamar said, we're meant to be blissful. Our nature is to be blissful. So when we realize our swarup after mukti, we'll be supremely blissful. When it's described in Bhagavatam, when the Sakas are meeting with Krishna, they have such sweetness, they're interacting directly with him. Right? They're completely fulfilled in bliss. That's why it said also when the Gopas married the Gopis, right? Ultimately Krishna married all the Gopis, but when Brahma had, right? When they came back from the cave, they said, who are these Gopis? It was not like they were feeling this attraction. Their attraction was to Krishna. So we should understand that ultimately all the rasas are meant to serve Krishna and please Krishna. And in Vrindavan, Braj, they're also all supporting Madhurya Ras and within Madhurya Ras. All the other rasas are present within Madhurya Ras, like all the elements are within the earth. That's described in Ramanandari Samvad. But it's also described that these are all in support to make a beautiful setting for Radha Krishna's Leela. Because ultimately, Radha Krishna, what to speak of the other rasas, or us? What to speak of Sakis and Mandiris and Saka and Vatsalya devotees? Ultimately, everything is Radha Krishna's experience of Leela. Right? Ultimately, Radha Krishna, Shakti, Shakti Matora Beda. So everything is facilitating the Leela of Radha Krishna. All the rasas, Krishna grazing the cows, everything is facilitating ultimately Radha Krishna's Sambhog Leela, meeting pastimes. Everything. All the Swarup Siddha Jivas. So really everything is for that service of Radha Krishna Prana Mor Jugala Kishore. Jivane Maranyar Gati Nahi Mor. Everything is for that purpose, but according to our nature, we'll be like completely blissful, satisfied. Okay.
So the
Follow-up
other question. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like 2 or 3, but when we hear about Lord Chaitanya's incarnation, we hear the other associates of the Lord. Like you just talked about Murari Gupta, who was a Manji who comes in. You have even Prahlad Maharaji and Sadashiv in, I think Sadashiv or in one, right?
Yes.
In one. So all of that happens in Chaitanya, in Lord Chaitanya's pastime. But in Braj, you don't see the greatest devotees in that Braj. Like for example, when you talk about like Prahlad Maharaj or Dhruva Maharaj, they're not in that. So I was thinking, if they are such exalted devotees, why wouldn't they want to taste the Braj Ras? And it's very, I'm sorry.
No. This is a very good question.
Happy.
Because they're happy, they're perfectly happy in their...
But many of them come to taste bread grass. Right? In Gaur Leela, they come and taste. So it's Gop Kumar, we hear this in Brihad Bhagavatamrita also, right? On one hand, they're happy. It's like the same with Krishna. We hear in Dwarka that Krishna was with Rukmini, Satyabhama, but yet, he wasn't sleeping at night and his pillow was becoming wet with tears and he was chanting Harade Halalite. So, Gurudev describes that this is Prakrit Vrindavan and Prakrit pastimes, manifest pastimes, especially in this, when Krishna came, he was helping us focus towards Braj Bhakti. The whole Bhagavat Katha is to help us go towards Braj Bhakti. So all these pastimes are being shown in a way to lead us towards Braj Bhakti. That's the purpose of the Bhagavatam. Otherwise, it said, Vacha Vibhuti Natu Paramartha. In the 9th canto, Sukadeva Goswami says, without the 10th canto, all of this it's like a great story, but with no conclusion. The 10th canto is the conclusion, right? And so Krishna came and Mahaprabhu came. Mahaprabhu came to teach us Braj Bhakti, and they're all working together, right? But ultimately, in its Siddha Avastha, any of these other personalities, they're satisfied. But this Leela is there to help lead the Jivas towards Braj Bhakti in this age, right? Those who are qualified for this, it's to lead them towards Braj Bhakti. Therefore, Bhagavat is there. Therefore, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Many people won't have desire to follow that, so they won't read Bhagavatam. Or they'll read Bhagavatam and say it's only to realize that you are one with God. Right? Jeho Bhagavat Parimare. Some will read and not understand. So for us, like Gurudev said, in one Leela manifestation, Krishna is happy in Dwarka. Right? But Sanatana Goswami wrote that Krishna is always crying for Braj. Why is leading the jivas towards Braj Bhakti? But we shouldn't think that Krishna is Dwarkadish, who's always crying. Krishna is always eternally crying in Dwarka. No, there's one Swakiya Dham. Radha Krishna is also in Swakiya Ras. There's one Dwarka Dham where Krishna is always meaning, and many people worship them like that, and they're very happy to be like that. They have no interest whatsoever in Braj. But Mahaprabhu came to teach Braj Bhakti. Goswamis taught Braj Bhakti. And Bhagavad is also teaching Braj Bhakti, ultimately. Ras Panchadhyaya is the Panchapran, 5 life airs, specifically Madhurya Bhakti. So we should understand the topmost thing and understand how everything supports it and appreciate that, and then not say like this is some kind of inequality. Because a lot of people say like that, it's inequality, and we're only focusing on this thing, Madhurya Bhakti, and within that also Manjari Bhav, is inequality. We should understand Mahaprabhu's desire and how to please Krishna. And also, Krishna said, Napari ham niravadya samyajam. I want to try to fulfill my debt, my obligation to the gopis. How? I'm going to preach about their glories and bring people into their service. So this Mahaprabhu also had this desire. Krishna said, Napari ham niravadya samyajam. I cannot repay you. So then he came as Mahaprabhu and said, I want to bring jivas into your service. Find those ones who are qualified. One thing our Gurudev would say, he said, I preach everywhere. And I preach all katha, Prahlad katha, Dhruva Maharaj katha, Amrish katha, all katha. But sometimes I see those people who have this Braj Bhav, like specific flowers, and I collect them and I bring them to Vrindavan. Everywhere I preach, Gurudev had lakh disciples, 100,000 disciples. He said, I preach all this katha. But some places I find those jivas who have this nature, and I especially help them come to that realization. So everything is there. Okay. Another question.
Thank you.
Good.
So when you mentioned the seeds that we have, when do you that aha moment that you realize this is the way I feel towards Krishna? You mentioned don't pay attention to that. You did say that, but
I would say, Gurudev would say you have to develop your aim and object, right? You have to have an aim. And Gurudev mentioned like a glass, and you can see something. So, Cheto Dharpana Marjanam. One thing Gurudev would say and our acharyas say is first deserve, then desire. Right? So sometimes people don't want to do any sadhana, any anartani vritti, and they just say, oh, I will be this. And Gurudev would say this is called Gubi Bhav, Gobi. You're not Gopi or Gobi, cauliflower. And you're not Gopa, you are like you're pagan Gopa and Gobi Manjari. Cauliflower and eggplant. Gurudev would say like that. Bhagwan Gopa and Gobi. So we have to do some sadhana, and we have to advance in bhakti enough to even understand this conception. Right? We have to appreciate it. Otherwise it becomes sahajya. So we're not practicing sahajya. We have to be very serious, follow sadhana very nicely. If we're very serious in our sadhana, we follow very nicely, then gradually this can come. Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma Prema Suryamsa Sambhivak. It's a very high stage though. Swami gives this sloka. Right? That first ray of prem or bhav, when it comes in the heart from the associate of Krishna, then we can understand this is my position. So generally we say be in good association, and some more or less tendency will start to awaken. Right? Some people have more natural sakya mood. Some people have more natural vatsalya mood. But as they progress in bhakti, this starts to come out naturally. Like I know some people, and it's like, you ask them, no, I want to be servant of Mother Yashoda and Vatsalya. I want to be Krishna like my baby. I want Krishna like my baby. And you tell them, oh, what about this, what about that? They said, no, I want that. I said, okay, good. This is the best. And ultimately we should understand, if they sincerely worship Krishna in that mood, maybe perhaps they have a different rasa. But if they're worshipping Krishna with one pointed focus, Krishna says in Gita, the slightest amount of bhakti is never lost. Bhagavat says, Kam, Krodh, Matsarya, even if you think about Krishna with anger, if you focus on Krishna, you get liberation, like Kamsa. Even with anger or enmity or malice, right? So if someone is worshipping Krishna sincerely, even with a Vatsalya mood, perhaps they have a different mood, but let them go through that, because you'll see when they go to through sadhana, they're going to advance so much. Then that will lead them to the right association. Right? So you have to let people develop their bhakti in a way that's favorable for them. Automatically it will be arranged. But some people have natural sakya mood, natural vatsalya mood. So we encourage and support that. And that's also in Jaiva Dharma Bhaktivinoda Thakur. 2 disciples were worshipping one guru, and to one disciple he appeared as Saka, to one disciple he appeared as Saki. It's in Jaiva Dharma Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So he had 2 disciples, and one saw him, oh, you are like Sudam, like Saka, and one saw you are like Lalita. So in Jaiva Dharma chapter 38, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, disciples in the mood of Kinkari will see their guru like Rupa Manjari. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says like this, and disciples in another ras will see like that. So guru can also arrange that according to the rasa of the disciple. But we should think, if someone is sincerely practicing, then let them advance in bhakti. Follow Ekadashi, Harinam, Sankirtan. And develop your aim and object. Develop appreciation for the highest and all the other rasas. Read Ramananda or Samvad. Mahaprabhu didn't make any mistakes. So if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, his mood is very clear. So you understand the ultimate conception, and we understand how it's all in support of the Leela of Radha Krishna. Right? We are not the subject, we are the servant. We are serving Radha Krishna. Whatever rasa may be, still Radha Krishna in the center.